Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
More turbulence in the region's airline industry. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline from Monday, July 17th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. Airline pilots are taking industrial action in the region, but this time it's not LIAT. Trinidad and Tobago's national carrier, Caribbean Airlines, is the one affected as pilots refuse to fly the company's 5 ATRs over what they say is the airline's total refusal to address serious safety issues and concerns. The action by the pilots left hundreds of passengers clamoring for flights at airports over the weekend. And on Monday, CAL had to make changes to domestic flights as the action continued. CAL says several regular scheduled flights were consolidated and will be operated by its Boeing 737 fleet. Meantime, Trinidad and Tobago's Labor Ministry says it can't intervene in the dispute because its hands are tied. Labor Minister Jennifer Baptiste-Primus says the Industrial Relations Act outlines the conditions under which she can intervene in any dispute, and neither CAL nor TNT Airline Pilots Association has requested her intervention. Millions of Venezuelans have rejected President Nicolas Maduro's controversial plans to rewrite the country's constitution. Nearly 7.2 million Venezuelans took part in a non-binding referendum on Sunday, organized by the country's main opposition parties, and the overwhelming majority voted against Maduro's plan that would see a new constituent assembly being elected on July 30th. The assembly's 545 members will have the power to dissolve state institutions, including the National Assembly, where opposition parties are in the majority. The opposition wants new elections before Maduro's term expires in early 2019, and they say rewriting the constitution would almost certainly delay this year's regional elections and next year's presidential election. It fears the new body could herald dictatorship. An opinion poll has given the ruling One Bermuda Alliance, the OBA, a commanding lead over the main opposition Progressive Labour Party, PLP, ahead of Tuesday's general election. But most pundits agree the outcome of the vote will again hinge on a handful of marginal seats. The OBA squeezed home by just 2 seats in the last election, that was in December 2012, but later lost that advantage and became a minority government after former cabinet ministers Mark Pettingill and Sean Crockwell resigned to sit in the 30-seat House of Assembly as independents. Pettingill is not running in tomorrow's election, while Crockwell, his partner in a Hamilton law firm, was found dead at his home last month. The 59-year-old Premier Michael Dunkley is Bermuda's most popular politician. Well, that's according to the poll. Last month, he preempted a planned vote of no confidence in his government by opposition leader David Burt by calling an early election. A total of 46,669 voters are registered to cast their ballots on Tuesday. The two main political parties are running a full slate of 36 candidates, while 5 independents, including a former PLP premier and an ex-OBA chairman, have also thrown their hats in the ring. A cooperation agreement to leverage support for activities to benefit the region's children has been signed. The agreement was inked on Friday between the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, and the Caribbean Development Bank, the CDB. Signing on behalf of UNICEF was its Deputy Director General, who spoke with CMC News after.
And we're going to work on data how to strengthen information of children. As you know, it's important to know what are the areas that work well, what are those where we have to make more effort together. There is a very strong component on gender, and gender is not only girls, but it's also boys. What happened to boys, what happens to girls. So we're going to work together on that. So there are several aspects of our cooperation agreement, and we are really interested also in looking at budget analysis. So how are the resources of the different countries used to advance the well-being of children, being at school.
The UNICEF official was on a week-long visit to review its activities in the region. She told CMC News she was generally satisfied with the execution of its programs in the region, adding that work is being done by both government and social groups to recognize the rights of children in the region.
We're still very concerned, and I think we're still very concerned with the pace of change. We want change to happen yesterday already for children. So we're impatient that, legislation is passed in the countries, that there is follow-through on information when that information comes to the government. So.
Weather forecasters are monitoring two systems in the Atlantic, one of which has the potential to become a tropical storm. The one which currently has the bigger chance of developing is in an area of low pressure located about 750 miles east of the Windward Islands. The National Hurricane Center in Miami said on Monday morning that the system has a 50% chance of developing in the next 2 days. But regardless of development, the system is expected to bring heavy rainfall and gusty winds to portions of the Lesser Antilles beginning late Tuesday. The other system is about 800 miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, and the NHC said some gradual development of that system is possible over the next few days while it moves slowly towards the west-northwest or northwest over the open Atlantic Ocean. Its chance of formation is around 20% within the next 2 days or 30% in the next 5 days. The Barbados Drug Information Network, BARDIN, is reporting a new trend in drug use in the country. Research assistant at the National Council on Substance Abuse, Laura Lee Foster, says polysubstance abuse is becoming more prevalent among drug users. She says fewer people are seeking treatment for sole marijuana or alcohol abuse. Polysubstance or polydrug abuse refers to the mixing of drugs into a single dose. Officials involved in the fight against illegal drugs have identified marijuana, cocaine, alcohol, and cigarettes as being those being mixed by users. Foster says statistics captured in the BARDIN report between January 1st and December 31st, 2015 indicated that 78.7% of persons receiving substance abuse treatment at the psychiatric hospital admitted to using polydrugs. She said this is compared with 11.2% who used alcohol only, 7.9% who used marijuana only, and 2.2% who used other drugs during the same period. She further disclosed that these figures compare to 75.9% of persons seeking treatment at the psychiatric hospital using polydrugs in 2014, 61% in 2013, 51.4% in 2012, and 48.2% in 2011. Foster cautioned that the emerging polydrug use trend might pose challenges for drug treatment and drug education and prevention practitioners. Grenada and Canada have signed a tax information exchange agreement designed to promote international cooperation in tax matters through exchange of information. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance in Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell, says the agreement, which was signed late last week, is not based purely on revenue, but also on securing Grenada. He says there is need for even greater transparency and accountability in governance, with the world becoming a global village. Hence Grenada's decision to pass the Fiscal Responsibility Act. The agreement was signed with Canada's High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Marie Legault. Legault says the signing shows that Grenada and Canada are committed to transparency. Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, the Caribbean shines at the World Robotics Championships. We'll be right back after the break.
Join the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and its regional and international partners at the CBU Annual General Assembly, August 21st through 24th at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau, the Bahamas, under the theme Digital Developments in Caribbean Media. Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis, will welcome delegates during the opening ceremony. Guyana's Minister of Public Telecommunications, the Honorable Kathy Hughes, will offer a keynote address on digital developments in the region. See the launch of the UNESCO-sponsored Manual of Social Media Guidelines for Caribbean Journalists, with guest speaker Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn. And hear from international media players about the new developments in digital television standards in Europe, the US, and Japan. And this year's Caribbean Broadcasting Awards Gala at the Atlantis Resort Paradise Island is not to be missed. Call 246-430-1007 to book your space in the 3-day conference and exhibition. Don't miss the CBU 48th Assembly at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau from August 21st through 24th. Discounts on flights to the Assembly on the official airline, Caribbean Airlines.
The level of unwrap.
Grenada.
Next up is the self-proclaimed Spice Team.
Team Bahamas. Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
From the
Barbados.
Team Guyana has moved into first place out of 165 countries following the third round in the World Robotics Championships for high school students taking place in the United States. 17 countries are representing the Caribbean in the first ever global robotics competition currently underway in Washington, D.C. The first global challenge is an international robotics event where students from 163 nations around the world participate with the goal of increasing their knowledge of STEM, that's science, technology, electronics, and mathematics. This year, the focus is on water, and the challenge is called H2O Flow. It exposes the children to the real problems of water scarcity and contamination. Using the robots they have built themselves, they work together to remove contaminants from polluted rivers. The two-day event, which officially started on Monday, continues on Tuesday. Now to news from our partners over at France Caribe broadcast. Heavy rains resulted in what farmers there are describing as a bad sugar season in Guadeloupe, and they say most of the canes will remain in the ground. The planters are already turning to the state for a better distribution of the 38 million euros made available to the sector. We get more in this special report.
This was supposed to be the Renaissance campaign for the sugar industry in Guadeloupe, but the torrential rains that struck the archipelago decided otherwise. Canes are dirty, sugar poor, washed ground is problematic for harvesters. The problem is that this year there has been a lot of rain, and it didn't start at the right time. And even if we try to cut cane, its worth in sugar is very low. To be profitable, the sugar level must be 12 or 13. If you are 7 or 8, you will not get a lot of money. You can only pay for fertilizer and pesticides. Large quantities of cans will remain standing, which makes the professionals very worried. Although the state has planned an aid envelope of 38 million euros for the wool sector, but burdened by difficulties, planters ask for a large part of this sum is reserved for them. We have not been spoiled since 2015 between the drought, between Matthew, between the heavy rains that we had in the month of November, and in addition it rained from March until June, and again this weekend has undergone a tropical wave. These 38 millions of euros are allocated to the industrialists, but today we are asking that in these 38 millions, we, planters representatives, should be entitled to something. Next year, we are still going to have some cans that will stay on foot if the weather continues like this. That's why I think we will have to anticipate next year and open a little bit earlier. The fumes of the plant of Gardel will dissipate in the sky, leaving once again this profession in front of its old demons.
And we thank our partners over at France Curie Broadcast for that report, and we encourage you to join us every Monday for news from the French West Indies. And ahead in Newsline Sport, Cricket West Indies announces a player amnesty. The details after the break.
Ready.
It's another episode when we out on the road. This is what we love to celebrate, to celebrate. This is not Hollywood. No, we don't come out the road.
Drink, drink, drink.
King Papa and the guitar. Every fact that a boy keep on calling me wrong name, but that's okay, 'cause that's my bed. I don't understand how wearing a name tag on me. You know what to say, you still calling me wrong.
Don't get vexed with me. Don't say that.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
Continuing with cricket now, the region's cricket stars are now likely to return to international duty after Cricket West Indies on Monday announced a temporary player amnesty. It's the first step towards scrapping the contentious eligibility rule that stipulates players must make themselves available for regional tournaments in order to be considered for West Indies selection. CWI's Chief Executive Johnny Graves said a working group of the Cricket Committee was expected to present recommendations on the rule to the board of directors shortly, and they would be discussed at a meeting in September. In the interim, Graves said all registered players would be eligible for selection. The CWI CEO said, quote, "The agreement forms part of a wider strategy to be more inclusive and to improve player relations aimed at re-engaging all players within our system so that they can perform at their best for the West Indies team," end quote. The move comes with West Indies almost certainly set to miss out on automatic qualification for the 2019 World Cup in England. They have one more chance to achieve direct qualification when they faced England in a 5-match series in September. But Graves said CWI was already preparing for the prospect of playing in next year's qualification tournament in order to reach the World Cup. He says while the qualifying tournament has yet to be confirmed by the ICC, Windies may only have 8 ODIs against England and New Zealand in the next 6 months to prepare, and it's crucial that the Windies' best performing players are available for selection in those important games. CWI also said it would soon launch a registration process for all players, men's and women's in all age groups, in an effort to identify the full slate and categories of players in the West Indies. Well, West Indies women ended their ICC World Cup campaign with a 92-run defeat to host England women in their final match. Already eliminated after losing their opening 4 games, West Indies entered their contest on Saturday playing for pride, and the Caribbean women didn't start out badly, managing to restrict England to 220 for 7 off 50 overs. Leg spinner Afi Fletcher took 3 for 33 from her 10 overs, while off-spinner Anisa Mohammed conceded just 32 runs from her 10 overs. But in the West Indies' turn at the crease, the batsmen let them down badly. They got 29 from teenage opener Hayley Matthews and 23 from Chilean Nation, but no other player passed 20, and they collapsed to 128 for 9, slumping to their 5th defeat in 7 matches. West Indies ended the tournament 6 on 4 points and suffered elimination along with Pakistan, Sri Lanka and New Zealand. England ended top of the standings on 12 points. Reigning champions Australia finished second also on 12 points but with an inferior net run rate, while India were third on 10 and South Africa fourth on 9. Meanwhile, the news was much better for the West Indies youth team on Sunday. Lower order batsman Alec Athanzi struck a bold, unbeaten half-century to lift the under-19s to a crucial 4-wicket win over South Africa under-19s. Chasing a modest 208 for victory in the 4th Youth One-Day International at City Oval, West Indies got home in the 45th over with Athanzi top scoring with 66 not out. Bhaskar Yadram extended his good run of form with 65, while Matthew Patrick chipped in with 28 on debut. The hosts had earlier stumbled to 207 all out of 48.2 overs after they were sent in, with opener Matthew Beasley stroking 55, captain Renard Van Tonder 38 and Herman Rolfs 37. Naeem Young, a 16-year-old pacer from Barbados, picked up 3 for 42, while Patrick ended with 2 for 26 with his off breaks. And the victory leveled the series 2-2 with Wednesday's 5th match in Durban now a virtual final. Uncapped Barbadians Kyle Hope and Raymond Reefer have been named in a 15-man West Indies squad to tour England for 3 tests starting next month. An experienced seamer Kemar Roach has been recalled following a 19-month break. Hope, a 28-year-old opener, recently made his debut in the one-day international series against England, while the 26-year-old Reefer, an all-rounder, is yet to play international cricket. Chief Selector Courtney Brown said both players would be assets to the touring party based on their performances at the first-class level. Meanwhile, Roach has finally returned to West Indies colours after a long stint on the sidelines because of injury and loss of form. The full squad, which will be led again by all-rounder Jason Holder, is a young one, with more than half having played less than a dozen tests, but Brown says it's a cohesive unit which has shown promising signs of development. The full West Indies squad is Jason Holder captain, Craig Brathwaite vice captain, Devendra Bishu, Jermaine Backwood, Roston Chase, Miguel Cummins, Shane Dowrich, Shannon Gabriel, Shimron Hetmeyer, Kyle Hope, Shea Hope, Alzari Joseph, Kieran Powell, Raymond Reefer and Kemar Roach. West Indies will play 3 three-day games against county sides Essex and Kent before facing England in the day-night opening test on August 17th. The second test bowls off at Headingley 8 days later, with the third and final test carded for Lords starting September 7th. And from the cricket pitch to the track, Olympic champion Elaine Thompson streaked to a new meet record in capturing the women's 100 meters at the IAAF Diamond League on Sunday. The 24-year-old clocked 10.87 seconds to post her 17th consecutive 100-meter win. Here's the race.
Well, Thompson's got a good start right on the inside. Williams going well right from that lane 1, but here comes Talou on the near side, and Thompson comes past her. Thompson wins, Talou in second place, a photograph for third, and it's 10.87, a new meeting record.
Thompson, the heavy favorite ahead of the London World Championships next month, said she was exactly where she wanted to be in her preparation. Bahamian Shawnee Miller-Ubo also tasted success when she raced to victory in the women's 400 meters to clinch her 10th straight win. The reigning Olympic champion in the event clocked 49.80 seconds to force Americans Natasha Hastings into second with 50.86 seconds and Quinera Hayes into third with 51.08 seconds. And at the end of the 10th and final IAAF World Under-18 Championships, Jamaica walked away with 8 medals, one shy of their best ever in 2007 and 2011. 3 of them they added on Sunday's final day of competition in Nairobi, Kenya, a silver in the mixed 4x400 meter relay and a gold and bronze in the girls 100 meter hurdles. The gold came from Brittany Anderson, who crossed the finish line in a win-aided 12.72 seconds, and her Jamaican counterpart, Daze Freeman, took the bronze. We get more from Ricardo Chambers of TVJ Sport.
Brittany Anderson went into the World Under-18 Championships as the fastest in the girls' 100-meter hurdles field, a distinction taken away by Francis Serena Samba Mayela, who clocked at 12.98 in qualifying. Samba Mayela was drawn between the two Jamaicans in the final, with Daze Freeman also strongly favored to be in the medals. But in the race for gold, it was Anderson and the French girl all the way.
Away they go first time. Samba Mayela's going well, and she's just ahead of the two Jamaicans at the moment. But Brittany Anderson is on her shoulder. Samba Mayela and Brittany Anderson. Anderson's gone ahead, and she's going to win it. Samba Mayela is beaten. The time is 12.73, and that is a championship record.
Anderson was clocked at an amazing 12.72 seconds, but unfortunately she had a following wind of 4.1 meters per second, meaning fellow Jamaican Yannick Thompson's 12.94 from 2013 remains as the world youth best. Freeman also got on the medal rostrum after taking bronze in 13.09 seconds. Jamaica's other medal came in the mixed 4x400 relay. The team of girls 400 finalist Shaquina Foot, boys 400 fourth place finisher Anthony Cox, girls 400 meter hurdles silver medalist Sanique Walker, and 400 boys champion Antonia Watson took silver in 3 minutes 22.23 seconds. Brazil held off Watson's late charge to snatch a surprise gold in 3 minutes 21.71 seconds.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
And before we go, the National Hurricane Center is now confirming that the system we told you about earlier is now a tropical storm done. A tropical storm warning has been issued for Grenada, and the government of Barbados has issued a tropical storm watch for Barbados and for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the government of St. Lucia has issued a tropical storm watch for that country. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports around the clock, log on to ConnellNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and good night.